Well, I suppose it depends a lot on the context really that I'm working in and where the client's at. But in general, my preferences are for situations where I can really help the client manage their own learning, whether that's an individual or a group, helping them to figure out what it is that they need to learn to make the difference that they're interested in making. So self-managed learning for me is definitely the way forward, and self-directed learning. So when I'm working with an individual or a group, be that a small group or a large group, on leadership development, organisation development, I guess there's four main styles that I'll use and I'll swap between. The first of these is kind of an acceptance style. That's about making people feel safe, loved, comfortable, and in a place where they can speak their truth. So when I'm in acceptance mode, I'm trying to really help people say the things they need to say, articulate what it is they need to articulate, hear themselves saying the words that they've not been able to say up until now. My second mode of working then is really a bit more catalytic when I'm working with a group or an individual. And this is about helping them see the wood for the trees. So it might be that I introduce them to a theory or a model or an idea or a concept, or I help them sort through and categorise some of the information that they put on the table. So they'll typically have personal challenges, professional challenges, sometimes spiritual challenges. And this catalytic phase is really about helping them to see the wood for the trees. It's to help them make sense of the data that the acceptance phase has helped them to uncover. The third style that I have to use when I'm working with groups or individuals is a confrontational style. Sometimes people will be saying all the right things and making all the right noises, but they're not actually following it through. They're not acting it out. They're not... there's a gap between what they're saying and what they're doing. And then part of my job is to confront them over that, make them aware of that, and help them explore their choices about whether they're going to change either what they say or what they do to re-establish congruence between words and actions. Confrontational has to be done pretty regularly, I would say, but it certainly doesn't take long. 2 or 3 minutes, you can point out the contradictions between people's words and their actions, help them explore that in an empathic way. I normally go straight back to acceptance after I've done it to rebuild the relationship if I put any strain on it. But yeah, I think in my leadership development work, I've got to be quite prepared to confront people when words and actions are a little bit out of kilter. Very occasionally in my work doing leadership development, I'll have to adopt a fourth style, which is one that I find quite difficult actually, but sometimes you have to go there, and this is one of prescription. This is one of just summoning up all your authority, all of your credibility, all of your gravitas, and just telling people, because you know what's good for them, what it is that they need to do. Doesn't happen very often. I'll only do it really when I think there are significant dangers involved in letting them continue to explore their options. So for example, if they were carrying something that I felt was a really unacceptable risk to patients, or was contravening some really important aspects of NHS values, I might go into prescriptive mode and tell them precisely what it is I think they need to do and why. And I won't be facilitative, and I won't be encouraging them to generate options. I will just be in tell mode. So what would you experience if you were on the receiving end of my leadership development? I think the first thing that you experience, I hope, is a real warmth and conviviality and a feeling of welcome and friendship. Because if you don't feel safe and you don't feel respected and you don't feel valued, it's going to be very hard for you to become open enough to really do some proper leadership development. But then I quite quickly hope that you move to a position of being really interested, genuinely stimulated and challenged. It's reaching a point that I call gaining entry, where as a learner you have made a very conscious decision that actually being a part of this relationship with me, with the peers in the group, can make a real difference to the learning. So I need to quickly get people to the point where they can see that this is going to be a beneficial experience. Once we've done that, then we can start to make people feel a little less comfortable with themselves and in the group, and we can start to get them to recognise where the ways that they're doing things at the moment are the best ways that they know, but they're not the best ways necessarily. There maybe are the ways that they can be, and they need to let go of old habits and behaviours that have served them well, old values, beliefs and attitudes, and try out some new stuff. That can be quite scary for people sometimes. So you definitely go through a period of feeling some discomfort, some questioning and some challenge, where you're really recognising the limitations of some of your existing ways of working.